Some locations are definitely honeypots, being photographed very frequently. And Brighton, on the south coast of England, is definitely one of those, with some local icons featuring heavily on our SD cards. But that doesn't stop me from having a few bucket list shots that I've wanted to tick off since I moved nearby a few years ago. So in early March, with a low but incoming tide, I meandered my way across to Brighton to get those shots at last. Quite like this one, but the next one with a belt of Venus, well, that just sets my heart on fire a bit too much. Whereas this, well, no, doesn't do it for me at all. Of course, in winter, what Brighton is particularly well known for is its murmurations of starlings, which tend to leave towards the end of February. And in order to get something a little bit unique at a well-known spot, well, you've got to search for something a little bit unusual. So with an incoming tide and a warm moon, my second visit was going to be fruitful, or so I hoped. So having got my comedy shot out the way, I decided to meander along the beach, watch the sunrise, and aim for West Pier with a setting moon.
I am, apart from a couple of people who are digging for treasure, I am alone on this beach at the moment. Now, I do have a propensity to want to duplicate photos, so therefore, if I've got something I like, I think, oh, I'll try and better it. But I think I need to resist that temptation this morning, because after all, Brighton have two piers, almost as greedy as Blackpool. Just saying. And the lovely thing about this today is I've got a little while with a full moon, and I just thought I'd try and get a couple of shots that I've really wanted to get for a few years. After all, a couple of weeks ago, I got a couple that I've been trying to get for yonks. I'm guessing a few years is similar to yonks.
I confess,
Morning.
I really do like seeing the world wake up. There's something quite hopeful about it, even if it does coincide with kick-out time for the clubs.
Can I time it so I can get past the end here with a wave? Yes. Oh, no. Oh, in the top of my boot.
So 4 elements that are important today are the moon, the burnt out West Pier, the beautiful clouds, and I might even try for the i360. Crack on.
Now, for my safety, I have put on my WhatsApp live location for some time. So wherever I am on this beach, I can be tracked by the husband, which I'm quite pleased at, to be fair. Apart from London, it's the only place where I feel a bit edgy. And I know that's perhaps my issue as opposed to this place. This is quite lovely. So ideally, I'd want a head-on shot. However, because I want the moon in, I'm not going to get that now. I'll focus on that a little bit later. Right, very quickly, what I'm enchanted with is the bank of cloud that stops to go into the pink sky, and I've got the moon in a rather nice little place, and I'm having to underexpose obviously so I don't completely mess up the moon, but this is rather a nice shot. What luck to have some clouds like this. Knowing me, I'll mess it up now. Short exposure because the moon's moving quite fast. I might go to long exposure when the moon's not in my shot. There, top advice from someone who's just winging it today. This video is about actually capturing stuff that you've wanted to capture for such a stupidly long time. And I know that everyone else has done it, but I haven't.
So basking in my fortune of the colour and the clouds and the beautiful calmness, I walked up and down the beach until I captured the last moments of this lovely scene.
Well, that moon has now gone into a position where it's not optimal for what I want, but it gives me a chance to have a look at other stuff before the sun really comes up and slightly spoils the scene. Or I get rained on. Is it wrong for me to just want to grin for about the next 10 minutes? And just like that, the moon disappears off into the haze of the background. Lips are so cold, I think I sound drunk. I'm quite liking the reflections on the bottom of that i360. I'm not even sure that's what it's called now. It's been taken over. Long story.
Disappointingly, this shot is soft. I was shivering too much. More later.
Golly, as you can see, there's not much of the old girl left, is there? I've only been photographing it for a few years. I know that a lot of local photographers have been doing this for much longer. From a photographic standpoint though, I know it's kind of off-centre, that will upset my feng shui, but I'm liking the bits of stuff that's coming out either side, so I'm going to stick a long exposure on, hopefully smooth it out, and I should be able to get some of the reflection in this as well. I have put the 6-stop on. I'm getting 13 seconds, which is smoothing out the water, obviously, and it is getting the reflection. The downside of today is that I've got this bank of cloud behind, and I have been here before where I've managed to incorporate not only a clear sky, the moon, and a tide that's high enough so I can get these in the background. And they're really quite lovely. The details are great. I mean, come on, who doesn't like mussels? Actually, that might be an interesting shot.
It wasn't. So, as we waited to see if the light would do anything interesting before it got far too harsh, we stuck the drone up and just had a look at the old girl, collecting some memories before we decided to meander home.
So it is 7:15 and myself and my personal bodyguard are going to go for a breakfast somewhere because I did promise him that I'd buy him one for dragging him out of bed. You see, I'm a good wife. I am a good wife.
One of us believes that.
That might be me. Right, so I'm back here in Brighton because last time I was here, I took some shots of the i360 and they were soft, which isn't good enough. So I thought I'd come back with Photo Buddy Ben. I thought I'd take some shots of the bandstand as well with the lights on. Unfortunately, there's someone on there having a fag. He's been there a long time, but he will move eventually, hopefully, before the lights go off. Now, I confess that I think this is lovely. And today we actually have all of the lights working on it, which is perfect. The thing I've got to watch out for though is that I don't blow those lights that are going along there because it just would be very difficult to rescue. I want to see if I can get a couple of the Brighton icons in the same shot. This could be a futile exercise, but I reckon with the right angle I can get that bandstand and West Pier, I reckon.
And then the lights went off, so I decided to wait for some interesting cloud.
This is the first time that Ben and I have actually tag teamed on safety, and we've alerted each other to a couple of people who are not okay and have come a little bit too close and hung around a little bit too close. You know what I'm saying. Right, that's what I want to get up there.
Now this week I wasn't going to mess up this shot. I need to just wait until the light was right and meanwhile explore some of the quirks of Brighton.
Of course, now I'm here, I'm quite fancying the ticket office. Words that don't often come out of my mouth. Somewhat covered in graffiti.
And posters. So back to the matter in hand and my shot of the i360. Yes. There's definitely a pull back to this bandstand, and finally we had some interesting cloud.
I'm trying to be a bit more creative and get a shot that I know so many people have got, where we've got some arches and framing the West Pier in the background. Problem is there's quite a bit of detritus on the lower area here, including a bright yellow lifeguard storage unit, which is just not lovely.
So a good bit of posturing and pondering later, and I think I came up with a workable solution. Well, in theory, but the problem was this was far more complex than anticipated. You see, in order to get the horizon straight, the foreground was at a wonk. Oh, it's driven me nuts, so basic edits only, sorry. Well, it may have taken me 5 of your Earth years to collect my bucket list shots from here, and I'll still be going probably in 5 years' time. Still seeking out those ideal conditions so that bit by bit my Brighton portfolio can get, well, strengthened.
Well, hopefully over the past 3 visits I've got a few shots I can be vaguely proud of the icons of Brighton. Some of those I've been after for quite some time. Thank you for joining me today. Wherever I am next time, I very much look forward to taking you with me. Have a cracking week. Take care.